JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, gun and ammo found during snap raid on Shoe Lane. A gun and several rounds of ammunition were seized during a snap raid on Shoe Lane in Kingston on Friday, March 24. Reports from Elliston Road Police are that about 2:22 p.m., the lawman discovered one 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 15 9mm cartridges while conducting a search at the premises on Shoe Lane. No one is arrested in connection to the seizure. Investigations continue. Man walking strangely, allegedly found with illegal gun. A St. Catherine man will face the gun court for breaches of the Firearms Act after the police observed him walking strangely, searched him, and found an illegal gun. The accused is 27-year-old Tyler Golding, who is unemployed and lives in Newlands, Portmore, St. Catherine. Golding appeared on Friday before St. Catherine Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Elaine and was remanded until March 31, but he'll face the gun court where the jurisdiction lies. Allegations are that on March 3, the police went patrol along Newlands Road in Portmore, St. Catherine, when Golden was observed walking strangely. He was accosted and searched, and a 9mm pistol, loaded with a magazine containing 11 rounds, was taken from his waistband. He was taken into custody and subsequently charged. Body of man found in churchyard on 100 Lane. The body of a man was found in a churchyard on 100 Lane off Red Hills Road in St. Andrew with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. This is less than 24 hours after a man was killed in a shootout between rival gunmen that started on Red Hills Road and continued on 100 Lane. Reports of that loud explosions were heard about 9:30 a.m. The police were alerted. The body was later found in a churchyard and was removed to the morgue. No motive for the killing has been revealed. BPO company sends home 100 workers. More than 100 employees of the business process outsourcing BPO organization Vistaprint Jamaica Limited were placed on the unemployment line on Tuesday, 24 hours after a staff meeting with their bosses who flew into the island from overseas. Several departments at the Barnett Tech Park-based organization, which has been operating in Jamaica for the last 20 years and has had up to 1,200 employees at one time on its payroll, have been affected by the redundancy exercise. A former employee said that members of the Human Resources Department, Design Modification Team, the Employee Engagement, Call Center Agents, and Customer Advocacy Group have been sent home. The former worker at Vistaprint noted that the dismissals came as a shock. The meeting was Monday evening, and by Tuesday morning people were receiving notification not to return to work. According to the source, Vistaprint is notorious for taking drastic decisions without advising staff. A Vista spokesperson, however, said the decision to reduce the workforce was difficult, and some 1,000 team members remain at the Montego Bay plant under the management of the parent company, Simpress. While decisions like this are never easy, they are necessary to ensure Vista remains on its path to becoming the expert design and marketing partner to small businesses and to deliver on its financial commitments in light of a changing macroeconomic backdrop, the spokesperson said. The spokesperson added, "These colleagues have worked hard to make a difference for our customers and will continue to support them through this transition period." The company pointed out that the Montego Bay-based team was critical to Vista's future success. Jamaica was also not the only company to experience a staff cut, as Vista reportedly made 500 employees redundant worldwide this week. One of the first companies to construct a technology building in the Barnett Tech Park at a cost of $25 million approximately 10 years ago, it is understood that the organization expects to sell the facility and move to a smaller office space as well. It is also understood that some of Vista's businesses has already been moved to Manua in the Philippines, where wages are reportedly lower than in Jamaica. A seasoned BPO executive said the industry was a revolving door, and there was nothing unusual about a company taking its business where it can find cheaper resources and still operate efficiently. Jamaica is always attractive at the start, but after a while, if the call centers are facing issues, they are going to look to diversify their market, said the executive. One of the world's leading online design and print solution providers to small businesses, Vista steadily carved out a name for itself in the information and communications technology (ICT) sector. The company began operations in Jamaica in 2003 as a customer service center in a 35,000 square foot office space in the Montego Bay Free Zone with just over 20 employees. Family of electrocuted worker to file lawsuit against PRICESMART and JPS. The family of Javon Smith, the 19-year-old maintenance worker who came in contact with power lines while working at PRICESMART on Red Hills Road on March 13 and died 4 days later from electrocution, has retained legal counsel to file a lawsuit against PRICESMART and the Jamaica Public Service, JPS. Attorney at Law Tamara Francis Riley Dunn, who is representing the family, says they'll commence their investigations and then start the litigation process. It is our intention to connect with both of these entities. Our investigations will commence into exactly what happened and which of these two entities or both are responsible for this young man's death. Someone is responsible, she said. His cousin Letitia Campbell said Smith suffered third-degree burns and was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital where he was admitted. While there, she said the family had to hire a private ambulance to take him to do a CT scan off-site as none was available at the hospital. Campbell said she returned to PRICESMART and attempted to take photos of where the incident occurred the same day, but was told it was against company policy. After this, she made a report at the Constant Spring police station. After his death, she said she went to make an additional report to the police, but was surprised to learn that neither of the entities had made any such report. According to his lawyer, to date, the companies have not reached out to the family. To say that the family is heartbroken is an understatement, but what is even more egregious is that we have not heard anything from PRICESMART managers. We have not heard anything from JPS, and the family is in a tailspin wondering what to do now, she said at a press conference on Friday. It seems as if they don't care. It's like his death doesn't matter, a subdued Campbell said. Smith, who lived on Dunmar Avenue off Red Hills Road, was expecting his first child with his girlfriend, Shanastasia Crooks, who is due for delivery in May. His cousin said Smith was very excited to welcome his firstborn and had started making preparations. In fact, she said he had recently secured the job with the independent contractor for PRICESMART as a way of securing a steady income. He had also built a stall to sell wares and fulfill his entrepreneurial dreams. She said the family has been devastated since the tragic accident. His mother, Florence Osborne, cried throughout the press conference, saying that she is unable to cope with the loss of her fourth child. When me at the hospital and his mother break down and cry, said them take away her heart from her. Me not even able to cry or have a chance. Me have 3 episodes of seizure since the incident, Campbell said. Me have to carry baby mother down to the hospital Sunday night because she also has a heart condition as well as being pregnant. And my brother is not taking it well either as well as his dad, she added. A spokesperson at JPS said the company could not comment on the incident at this time as it was now a legal matter. A comment was sought from PRICESMART, but we were told that the management was not available to speak at the time as they were in a meeting. Up till late last evening, the Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, of the Jamaica Constabulary Force said that it had not yet received a report from the police on the incident. Trelawney man gets life sentence to serve 29 years before parole. A plea for mercy by attorney at law Shelley Hyman for convicted killer Abby J. Powell, otherwise called Teron, failed to move Justice Andrea Thomas in the St. James Circuit Court on Thursday as she handed down the sentence. Paul was convicted by a jury on February 23 for the murder of his cousin, Otis Patrick, otherwise called Rooney, whose body was found in a shallow grave in Trelawney in 2017. In her plea for mercy, Hammond told the court that the antecedent report and the social inquiry report indicate that Mr. Paul does not appear remorseful, and it is unfortunate. I submit that the reason for that is because he did not admit, but it is his right to maintain his position. The social inquiry report is one, I believe, persons generally call a mixed one. There are persons in the community who speak highly of Mr. Powell, as well as the members of his family. They describe him as someone who generally gets along with persons in his community, even though he is known to be a bit reserved. We are, of course, in your hands as relates to sentencing, and we are asking that the court accept our submission, that Mr. Paul is not beyond redemption and can be rehabilitated. We'll accept whatever sentence the court is going to impose, tempered with mercy, added Imon. We're hoping that today will bring some kind of closure to what must be a very traumatic period for this family, Imon added. But that did not sway Justice Thomas, who sentenced Paul to life imprisonment and ordered that he would have to serve 29 years before being eligible for parole. In handing down judgment, Justice Thomas highlighted several aggravating elements, including the fact that Paul was not honest and subjected them to a trial, that Patrick was not a stranger, plus the extent he went to so as to cover up the murder. According to Justice Thomas, she considered the mitigating elements of his previous good character, the fact that he was hardworking and gainfully employed, and the time he spent in custody. Justice Thomas had already heard a statement from Patrick's brother, who said, Abby J. Paul took the life of my brother, my best friend, my mentor, my counselor. He did not have to kill him. He never once owned up to the wrong he did, and that made it hurt even more. He killed my brother and lied to my family and the community at large. Even though he killed him and buried him at the back of the house like he was a dog that you kill and burn, he led us to believe that my brother had left the house and would never return. I'm unable to forgive Abby J. Powell for taking my brother's life because he killed my brother and has never shown any remorse in his actions. Judge, I ask that Abby J. Powell gets the maximum sentence that the law allows because what he did is reprehensible and has affected many persons in many ways. Please make him serve the time that matches the damages that he did to me and to my family. Clad in a red, white and blue checkered shirt and grey pants, Paul sat silently in the dark during the sentencing hearing. In additional details provided by Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paul Llewellyn on Thursday, it was noted that on February 8, 2023, Paul appeared before the Trelawney Circuit Court and pleaded not guilty to the murder of Patrick. A trial was embarked upon during which one of the jurors was discharged. The trial lasted for 15 days, and upon its completion, Paul was found guilty of murder. The DPP noted that the evidence at the trial was that on Saturday, March 25, 2017, Patrick left his house in St. Mary for Low River District, Trelawney, where he was expected to oversee the refurbishing of a perimeter wall of a two-story house in which Powell lived. According to the DPP, Patrick was taken to the house by another cousin with a suitcase containing clothes and a puppy, and rested his items in a room that was in the downstairs section of the house. Patrick was left in the company of the accused and another man at the house. Following that day, he was never seen or heard from again. Numerous calls were made to Patrick's phone by relatives, but all efforts to get through to him proved unsuccessful. On April 5, 2017, a missing persons report was filed at the Port Murray police station. Based on this information, the police interviewed several people, including the accused, in the Waiterbit police area of Trelawney. Paul reportedly told the police that he had left Patrick in the kitchen on Monday, March 27, 2017, and when he returned, Patrick was not there. Sometime after, Paul was seen with Patrick's cell phone, which he attempted to sell to his then spouse and her cousin. The DPP further said that in April 2017, Paul confessed to his former spouse that he had used a gun and shot Patrick in his head in the house before he and another man drove Patrick outside of the house and put him down until in the morning. When he got up early the next morning, he went outside and observed that dogs had eaten a part of the deceased man's head. He then buried Patrick at the back of the yard by a concrete tank and covered the grave with stone and corn. Based on what she had been told, his spouse said, "The boy come there going like him want to take over and I run him out of his house," in reference to Patrick. After he was arrested, Paul reportedly told the police that 3 men, seemingly friends of the deceased Motorius, had come to the house and one used a gun to shoot Patrick and threatened to shoot him too unless he buried the body, which he did. Paul then took the police to the house in Low River District and showed them where he had buried the body of the deceased. Following further investigations, Paul was charged. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.